Chapter 2, you have learned symmetric key. So symmetric key, how many keys? One. The sender and the receiver share the same key, known as secret key. Public key cryptography means two keys. Sender and receiver have two different keys. One for encryption, one for decryption. Means that sender can encrypt, but sender cannot decrypt the message. This is the meaning of public key cryptography. What does it mean, message authentication? Message authentication. You want to authenticate the message is from the sender, it's not from other people. Or you want to prove that the data, the message is original, is not modified by other people. This is authentication. Okay, can we continue? Okay, what is Diffie-Hellman key exchange? What is Diffie-Hellman key exchange? Let's say you have the secret key. You want to distribute your secret key to your friends. In the chapter 2, what is the way you distribute your secret key? If you still remember, you can physically meet your friend and give the password to your friend, or you encrypt the new password with the old password, or you distribute it through the third party. In this chapter, you will learn how to distribute the secret key by using this Diffie-Hellman key exchange. It's one of the algorithms for you to distribute the secret key. Okay, in this algorithm, there's a formula you need to memorize. First formula is e power to x modulus n. And second formula is the key x modulus n. This is the formula you need to memorize in this Diffie-Hellman algorithm. You need the formula to find out the secret key. Why Diffie-Hellman? Because secret key, they are sharing the same key. If you're sending out through the email the key, it is not secure. The hacker may hack it and get the key. So they come out this Diffie-Hellman algorithm. Okay, you want to send the secret key to your friend, this girl. What you need to do first step, you need to agree on the true value. Means that this boy and this girl need to agree on the true value. You set the value is 1 and 2. So the girl also know that the true value is 1 and 2. They only send out the secret value G and N to your friend through the email. After that, they will generate a random number. This boy will generate a random number X and this girl will generate a number Y. Then they will use the formula. G is the first value here, power to X modulus N, second value here. And also this girl will using the same formula, find out the key B. So after they find out the value A and B, they will exchange the value. After exchanging the value, they will use the formula again, find out the secret key. So this is the Diffie-Hellman key exchange. You can substitute the value with the number. For example, they agree on the true value, 5 and 4. After that, this boy choose number 8, this girl choose number 3 as the random number. Then use the formula to calculate the key. The output is 1 and 1. Then they exchange the output. After exchange, then they use the formula again to find out the secret key. So this is a Diffie-Hellman key exchange. The objective of this is to distribute the secret key to another party. So will this type of question come out? Because I found out that your calculator don't have this modulus function. So maybe you just memorize the formula. Okay. You just need to know the formula. How does it exchange the key? So slide number 10, 11, 12, this is the explanation for this Diffie-Hellman key exchange. So you can read it yourself. Okay, in this Diffie-Hellman key exchange, that the possible attack is known as man-in-the-middle attack. You can see from here, Alice and Bob, they will exchange the key. They will use the two values. They will agree on the two values. But man in the middle here, it will try to get the key from the Alice, and it will generate the public key and share the public key with the Alice. Actually, the agreement between Alice and Duff and not Bob. The key just reached the Duff here. And Bob is actually sharing the key with the Duff, not Alice. So after that, Duff will come out the key, and then Duff can be the man in the middle attack. It means that in this case, this Bob and Alice sharing the key and exchange the key, right? In this case, man in the middle attack, everything is Alice changed with the Duff, not Bob. And Bob changed the key with the Duff, not the Alice. So in this case, Duff can encrypt and decrypt the document. Can become the man in the middle attack. So this is the explanation for the man in the middle attack. So Duff now can intercept, decrypt, encrypt, and forward the message between Alice and Bob, because Duff has the key. Any question for the part 1? Diffie-Hellman key exchange. Okay, public key, how many keys? Okay, 2 keys. So one known as public key, another one known as private key. Public key used for encryption and private key used for decryption. This is public key cryptography. A public key, also known as 2 key or asymmetric, is the same meaning. 2 key, asymmetric 2 key, public key 2 key, and a 2 key. And the public key, which may be known by anybody. Public key is used for encryption. Everyone knows the public key. But the private key, only the receiver knows it. Only the receiver can decrypt by using the private key. The sender have the public key, can encrypt but cannot decrypt, because they are using 2 different keys. One is public key, one is private key. Public key everyone knows. Private key only the receiver knows it. Only the private key can decrypt the document. If you know the public key, will you know the private key? No. So if you only have the public key, you will not know the private key. Only the receiver has the private key. Only the people can decrypt it with the private key. Any question? Public key? Cryptography. So 2 keys. One is public key, one is private key. One for encryption, one for decryption. Public key, everyone know it. Private key, only the receiver know it. So, plain text, encrypt with the public key and decrypt with the private key, and you can read the plain text. So one of the algorithm name is RSA. RSA is one of the asymmetric algorithm. Okay. So AS, DS, 3DS is symmetric or asymmetric encryption. AS is asymmetric. So asymmetric example algorithm is RSA. Remember, asymmetric algorithm RSA. I will come back to this later on.
Coffee. 专心玩咧，有没有理了？
Okay, for this RSA algorithm, they were using the public key for encryption, private key for decryption. So how they calculate the public key and private key is based on this formula. First thing, they will select P and Q, both prime numbers. After they select two prime numbers, they will calculate N. N is equal to P multiplied Q. Okay. After that, they will find the formula P minus 1, Q minus 1 and multiply together. Then they will select the integer E and determine the D by using the formula. Then the public key is actually stand for KU equal to E and N. Private key is D and N. Okay, public key is E and private key is D and encryption N and decryption N. So the encryption will convert from the plain text to ciphertext. You are using this formula C equal to N power to E modulus N. And decryption is converted from the ciphertext to the plain text. So the formula is N equal to C E modulus N. So the next one is actually the example here. You can see the plain text is 88. And this is the public key. Public key is E and N. E is 7, N is 187. So you substitute the value into the formula.
我不要，
So plain text 88 power to 7 modulus 187, you get 11.
你妈
11 is，
我
the
就没玩 game
ciphertext.
了诶。
So decryption, you use the key, private key. So D and N. So D is 23, N is 187. So you just substitute the value and you will get back the plain text. Okay. So using the formula, this formula, C equal to M E modulus N and C E modulus N. This is not important. This is the other public key cryptography algorithm. In this chapter, you just need to know RSA algorithm.
这能摸？
那些贵的不要拿，学的没有人用啊。
Okay, what does it mean authentication? What authentication means?
这个不要拿，这个有谁？
The first point is you want to make sure the message is come from the author and not other people. Okay, authentication means that you want to make sure the message is come from the author
好的。
and content is not being altered. The content is still original content. It's not modified by others. This is main authentication. First, you want to make sure the author is the original author, and you want to make sure the message is not being modified by others. This is authentication. So message authentication is actually you want to protect the integrity of a message and validate identity of the originator. What algorithm you will use in this message authentication? There's a two algorithm. One is the hash function, another one is message authentication. So you can use this function. One is hash function, message encryption, and message
这个你
authentication
懂它
code.
作用吗？
I will explain
给它
it
吃了。
later
它会
on.
直接咚下去，咚死它。它一走了过去了。人这个是在水里面，有一靠近它就直接拉下水，就死掉。
Okay, this is a message authentication using the message authentication code. So how it works is sender, you want to send out the message. How you make sure that the message is come from the author, and how you make sure that message is not modified by others. So you can use this message authentication. You have this message, and you will use this MAC algorithm
这个是减速。
with the key and generate the output MAC. MAC stands for message authentication code. After you get this code, you will attach this code to the message. After you attach it with the message, then you send it to the receiver. Receiver receives it. Receiver will use the MAC algorithm and the key to generate the MAC code. After generate the MAC code, it will compare this generated MAC code with the MAC code that attached to the message. You will compare between these two. If match means that the message is original message. If not match, that means that someone has been changed the message. So this is message authentication. How you check the integrity of the message. Another technique is using the hash function. So what does hash function mean? Hash function means that this message can be any size, but it will provide you the fixed output size. Okay, it will provide you the message digest output. What does it mean? Means that if the value, the message is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you will go through the hash function. Hash function will give you the fixed output, maybe change the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to A, B, C, D, E. You can see the example from here. So this is the hash function. And alternative is the message authentication code. Later on, I will explain these two for you. So there's a three types of one-way hash function. One is one-way hash function with symmetric encryption. Another one is one-way hash function with asymmetric encryption. And another one is one-way hash function with a secret value. So we will see what is the difference. Okay, this is one-way hash function with the secret value. Secret key, sorry. Secret key you can see from here. You can see from here, they are using the share key. They are using the share key, the same key for encryption. So this one-way hash function, the step one is they have the message. They want to send the message to the receiver. What will they do is, they will use this message, go through the hash function. Then they will get the digest message for the hash code. After getting the hash code, it will use the secret key to encrypt the code, and they will get the output. After get the output, they will attach this output with the message, and then send it to the receiver. After receiver receives it, The
使命叫完
receiver
了，
1A here will take the message
不是这样。
and
刚才
generate
这
the
个
hash
你
code
跟他
again.
讲，
And then they use
扫到我
this
指
hash
纹
code
不会不会
compare with the hash code that attached to the
他比较
message.
扛辣。
See it is same or not. If same means that, if match means that the message is original message. Okay, this is one-way hash function with symmetric encryption. They are using the same key for encryption and decryption. Another one is one-way hash function with public key encryption. Public key encryption means two key. So you can see from here, it's actually using the different key. One is private key, another one is public key. It's the same process. They have the message. They want to check the message integrity. Is still original message or not? And it is from the author. So how they check is they will go through this hash function and get the hash code and encrypt the hash code and attach these codes to the message. Only it was sent to the receiver. Because they worry when they sending through the internet, there's a hacker here. Get the data, modify the data, or do anything to the data. That's why they want to attach these codes to the message and send it to the receiver. And then receiver will compare the code that attached to the message, decrypt it with a key, then they will read the code.
总得是要杀掉那
And
个太
then
阳
they
杀不
will
了人哦。
get the message and go through the hash function, get the code again,
然后你又还没有
and compare the code. It is
去
matched
去
or
去
not.
这个感觉好像有点。
Not matched means that there's a hacker modify or do anything to the data. This is a one-way hash function with a public key, different key. Another one is one-way hash function with a secret value. So this one, no encryption. No encryption. So you cannot make sure the confidentiality. For this technique, only authenticity. You can only authenticate the message. For this case, there's a no encryption. You can see from here you have message. You attach this message with a secret value and go through the hash function and get a code. So before sending to the receiver, you will remove the secret value first. You will remove the secret value. There's a no secret value when you send it to the receiver.
我
And
有
in
学
this
的，
case, you attach this
你
code
前
to
面
the
有
message,
死掉了。
and the receiver receives it.
那会
The receiver, what the receiver will do is get the codes and then generate the codes from the message through the hash function and then compare it again. See, it is matched or not. So this is three types of hash function with different encryption techniques. One is with symmetric key, another one is with public key, another one is with a secret value. So from this technique, which one you think it is more secure? Hash function with public key encryption, because you have two keys. It is more secure compared to one key or one secret value. Because the secret value only makes sure the authentication, not confidentiality. For the encryption part, you can make sure confidentiality and authentication with the hash function. You can see from here, the hash function means that you have the input f of x. You go through the hash function, it will give you the output. You can see all the output is the same size. The input can be different size, but the output must be same size. It's a fixed size. You can see f of x, it will hash function, it will go through something you are not understand.
送一个东西5色的。
Is the code. Is the code they will attach to the message and then send it to the receiver. So the receiver is actually compare this hash code when they receive it. Secure one-way hash function, also known as message digest function. So sometimes the question may use the term one-way hash. or they just use the term message digest. So you need to know the term is actually the same thing. Okay? When the question asks you what is the type of message digest function with different encryption techniques, so you need to read down. One-way hash function with symmetric key, one-way hash function with public key encryption, and one-way hash function with a secret value. Okay, you need to know the different terms. So this is the example of the important properties for this hash function. You can see from here, given n easy to compute hash means that you have the message. It is easy for you to come out the hash code. Okay. In the practical, you will learn how to generate the hash code. There's a program for you to insert the PDF or Word file. They will generate the hash value for you. So it is easy for you when you have a message. It is easy to compute hash. But if I give you the hash value, it is easy or difficult to get back the message. It is hard to compute back. So this is the properties. It is secure. So it's the difference, it's the same thing. Given m is hard to find m prime, and it is hard to find m and m prime. So this is the requirement for this hash function. As I explained just now, the input size is variable. It can be any size, and the output size is fixed. The pre-image resistance, second pre-image resistance means that it is easy to get the hash value when you have a value m, and it is difficult for you to reverse back, to get back the message. So attack for this hash function, the example of attack is the brute force attack. Because the output is a fixed line, so they only depends only on the bit length of the hash value. So they try out all the possible value for the fixed line.
A.
So the example usage of this hash function, where you will use this hash function?
这个是脱色哦。
Where you will use this hash function?
Thank you.
The first one is on the Unix password. What does it mean? What is Unix password? What is Unix password? Means that you want to store the password in the database. So will you store the original password? No, why? Because when a hacker hacks to the database, they can read the password. So what they do is they convert the password into the hash value. So that when the hacker read the password, they also did not get the real password. Okay. So the second usage is on the integrity of downloaded file. So you can compare, once you download the file, you can compare the codes when you download. It is same or not. Okay. For this one, you don't need to know it.
Peace.
For this, you just need to know the message authentication codes and the hash function.
来，我开给你哦，你进来啊。进哦。秀啊，秀啊。
Thank you, Miss.
Huh?
Bye bye.
Sorry, we do revision again. So what is DP? DP how many key I change? What is DP how many key I change? What key did I change?
정확히
Yeah, secret key. They want to find out the secret key. They agree to value and use the formula, calculate it, and exchange the key and come and find out the secret key. This is DP how many key I change. What is the example algorithm for public key cryptography? What is the example algorithm for two key? What is the algorithm name? RSA. Okay, RSA. So RSA use what key for encryption? RSA use what key for encryption? Public key for encryption. Private key for decryption. Okay, this is the public key cryptography.
到月尾就没有马来西亚了。
什么意思？
What is the algorithm used for authentication? There's a two algorithm. What is the algorithm used for authentication? What is authentication? What is authentication? Authenticate. What authenticates? You have to prove the data is from the sender, or you have to prove that the data is not modified by others. So how do you prove it?
为什么？
Yeah, you can use the hash function and also the message authentication code. Okay, these two types is to prove the data integrity and is from the source. Okay, still remember? What is the difference between hash function and message authentication code? What is the difference between hash function and message authentication code? You can see message authentication code. This is for the authentication. Message authentication code, you need the message authentication code algorithm and the key to generate the MAC code. And the MAC code is attached to the message. This is message authentication code. The hash function, you look at here. This is message authentication code. They are attached to the MAC code. The hash function, they are attached this hash code. No message authentication code algorithm, but you will using this hash function generate the hash code and encrypt it and attach the hash code to the message. Okay, both same objective. They want to prove the integrity of the data. The proof is from the sender. How they prove it? They compare the value. Okay, they compare the value. See it is matched or not. You can see this is one-way hash function. They compare the value. For the MAC, they also compare the value. You can see they are comparing the value. So how many hash function with different encryption techniques? There's how many types? 3. The first type is use conventional means that is use the symmetric key, the same key. Second type, one-way hash function with public key encryption means 2 key. Another one, with the secret value means no encryption. It's only provide you the authentication, no confidentiality. If you want confidentiality plus authentication, you cannot use one-way hash function with the secret value. You can only choose with the secret key or with the public key. What is the hash requirement. So hash function requirement, the input size can be any size. The output size can be fixed line output and efficiency, easy to compute for any given x and so on. So this is a common question for the midterm and also for the final. Normally they will ask you the hash function requirement and also the properties for this hash function. What is the properties for this hash function? For given n, it is easy for you to compute h. Given h, it is difficult. It is impossible for you to reverse back to get back the n. And also given n, it's hard to find n prime. So the example usage of hash function, where you will use this hash function. Where you will use this hash function.
Store the password.
Unix password. Another one. Yeah, integrity of downloaded file. How you check? What does it mean, integrity of downloaded file? You want to check the downloaded file is original or not. So you will compare the hash value. Okay, it is same or not. And also another one is Unix password. What does it mean, Unix password? How you link Unix password with a hash function? How you link the Unix password with a hash function? How you link the password, Unix password with the hash function? So if you still remember the diagram, the hash function, when you go through the hash function, it will give you the code. And the code is actually attached with the message. So let's say imagine, this message is your password. Okay, this message is your password. So you will go through the hash function and you will attach this code with the message. Means that your password is not in the, let's say your password is 1, 2, 3, 4. They will give you another text. You already digest the message. You already digest the message. You will get another output. You can see the example from here. Let's say this is your password FOX. So after go through the hash function, you will get different outputs. Okay, so you store this hash chunk in the database. So when the attacker read it, they actually did not get the original password. Okay.
看什么课啊？
So the objective of secure hash function is actually to prove of data integrity by verify the fingerprint of the data. So you need to understand the objective of hash function is actually to prove the data integrity by providing a verified fingerprint of the data. So all this you don't need to understand the hash function using the SQL and also SHA, all this no need.
讲好这老师。
So you can see the last part is combined the hash function with the message authentication code.
他讲奥林匹克要放 A 片进去了，比赛 A 片他讲。
You can see from
奥林
here.
匹克应该比赛 A 片。
What is
那
MAC?
应该
What is the
如果有的
MAC?
话，日本包
Message Authentication
而且还
Code.
要做那个评判。
可以，我觉得没有问题。
And then here is the hash
是
function.
专业的，其实。
Message Authentication Code attach the code to the message and then go to the hash function. So you get the final output.
出。
Anything else? I not check power. Huh? 59.
是 original。
Why is that 59?
Need to use the slideshow view and everything. Not this one, not this one.
This is size 59, is it?
Oh, no. Before. Previous. This one.
哎，可以啊，你的 iPad 可以。
This one means that you have the variable input
不可以说
size.
不可以说
After go to the hash function, you will get the output. The output is fixed size. Anything else?
看不见了。susah lah ni
Can you
bang.
remember? Can you remember?
有一天晚上。
Maybe the midterm will be in week 8, maybe just chapter 2 and chapter 3. So what you need to study is
Maybe,
algorithm,
Maybe
and
week
also
8,
set
maybe
assumptions.
chapter 2 and chapter
Or
3.
interactives later on. Okay, now see you all in the class.
没有。